Okay, welcome to this video. It's very nice that you would join me here in this video. And here I'm going to talk about Wing Chun, okay, Yung Chun. And I'm not only going to, I'm also going to talk about other martial arts. The reason I'm starting from Wing Chun, okay, Yung Chun Chuan in Mandarin Chinese, is because it's the main style that I practice and that I teach people. I have my own system. In fact, when I teach my martial arts, I try to teach some of the best and most realistic or real, practical, useful training that people can use when it comes to self-defense, or defending yourself. Now, I believe, contrary to what you may have heard, self-defense is not different from fighting. Fighting is it should be your last option if you cannot escape. But fighting evil, being defiant in the face of evil, in the face of violence itself, being people of peace, protectors of life. That is the virtue, the health, the value, of life, peace and safety, harmony, good health, the opposite of suffering, That is what we want. And so we stand up strong to protect, defend that through whatever means. And fighting is the last answer, always the last answer. And it's not even an answer, really. In fighting, someone can be hurt. We shouldn't want to attack people, really, at all, even in defense. It shouldn't be glorified, it should be shunned. However, they do say, and as the old saying goes, something along these lines, it was said once, to cut off the hand to save the arm, or cut off the finger to save the hand, It's better to, if someone had a poisonous bite from a venomous animal, then you'd amputate, you'd have to have that part of the body amputated, or else risk your whole body, being gradually infected by this disease or venom, poison, sickness, and you could die. So it's better to do the better thing. Always try to do the better thing. Well, the less negative, thing. Try to aim for a less negative outcome, for a much more positive outcome. The protection of life is what you need. So running away is what you do if you couldn't avoid it in the first place. Now you have to hurry and run, If you're not late, you won't need to run, so to speak, as they say, so as it could be said. So you can avoid things. If you can avoid things and take the right steps in a certain way, you can prevent yourself from having to run to meet such a thing, to get somewhere. But if you do have to run away or duck out the way and try not to get hit, if you do have to use whatever tactics it may be in the way of strategy and fighting, setting your opponent up so that you may get the better outcome, so that you don't get hit or hurt so bad and you can get your strikes in. Against the same thing. It's all running away. Even fighting and hitting someone so that you don't get hit or killed. It's all a matter of fighting, and fighting means you're in a situation. You're standing in fire and you're jumping around trying to jump out of the fire. You're in water and you're flapping your arms trying to swim and your legs trying to get out, because you're desperate not to drown. It's an action. where you've been forced to do things. Now your mind and your mouth shouldn't be being controlled to have to prove yourself or, become like a puppet to the opponent. You should be more in the know of yourself, and you shouldn't have, like too much emotion that you become crazy, So this is what it is. But fighting is about self-defense. It can be, self-defense is about fighting. It's about protecting yourself. And the best block is to not be there, to avoid a dangerous situation in fighting, dangerous circumstances, situations. Wing Chun. Okay, hold on 1 second. Wing Chun, Yong Chun Quan, which is Mandarin for this art. Okay, Mandarin Chinese, which I do speak, as I say. This art is a close range, close quarters, self-defensive art. Now, if you're a champion boxer, let's not compare the two arts, but let's just look at boxing or Wing Chun or Muay Thai, Krav Maga, and the list goes on. When you're in close range, I don't care, even if someone's got a knife or a gun or a baseball bat, is any technique gonna make you invincible? No. It's how you move and how you fight, and even one technique from Wing Chun or one technique from boxing, with a slightly different timing, speed, aiming and angling, this technique could be done basically, in so many ways, maybe without limit or close to, So there is no art, no martial art or fighting art which really is an invincible art, and they shouldn't be taken to be so. They shouldn't be trained sloppily like a dance or a show, and they shouldn't be taken for that either, to seem like that. There are practical techniques of many different arts and disciplines that humans have developed and created, right? A movement of the human body and mind in general. However, it doesn't mean that even one technique is always going to work. You can take one technique from any martial art or boxing, and that technique's not always going to work in every situation. We could argue that everything has an even number of, maybe, equal number of strengths as well as weaknesses. And they could arguably be infinite in that number. One technique doesn't work all the time, but it works when it works. See, in the same point. However many techniques there are. Now, let's look at that. Wing Chun, Yong Chun Quan, Aikido, any arts you want to look at, any martial arts, Krav Maga, Silat, army training, like hand-to-hand combat, the army training, all kinds of stuff, ninjutsu, even judo, jiu-jitsu, any kinds of wrestling, kickboxing, karate, taekwondo, the list goes on, Muay Thai, it goes on and on the list. Sabat, there's so many martial arts. There really are. Sistema, Eskrima, Kali, Wushu, all kinds of martial arts. Tai Chi, Bagua, Xing Yi Quan, Baji Quan, there's so many. There's so many martial arts. But what is it really? It's how you move with your body and how you react. So there should be no limit. You got literally, like Bruce Lee mentioned, Bruce Lee did say, you've got 2 arms and 2 legs. My body is how you move in a circular line or a straight line. Speed and accuracy, the amount of energy you're able to use effectively, and the amount of energy that you don't waste. So you're able to absorb and work with the opponent's disadvantages too, things like that. Disposition. So ultimately, in martial arts, you want to really know your body and don't have any limitations of how you can either move in or out, or engage or even disengage as a kind of action, non-action as a kind of action, retreating and yielding to overcome, hard and the soft, or just cutting that line off a slight different angle to find the quickest way in with attack. There's so many videos online, and it's been going since the 70s and 80s. It's been going all the way up until now. You'll see videos online with certain fighters or fight trainers talking about which arts are fake martial arts or ineffective, and things like that, and they'll mock each other or talk about why their art's the best or why there's only one way to fight and this is the way to fight, and it's wrong. It really is wrong. Excuse me. So my advice to you or anybody, if I have to, I don't like giving advice. I like to just share what I see from my experience, what I know, my feeling. Because seeing is believing, but feeling is the truth. Seeing through vision, seeing through your ears, your ideas, and your mind, imagery that you've come up with or that you've interpreted or what someone else has said. It's all kind of vision, but in feeling and true experience, that's the real truth. And it's not the same in every single situation. Things work out differently. How can you move your body? How flexible are you? What kind of power do you have in you? Energy. Again, also, how tense are you? How relaxed are you? So there's been different kind of weapons and tools people have used. So imagine the knights of old using swords and shields. How will they move in certain? If someone was swinging a sword at them and they had to cover up, same thing, right? So there's many different angles you can move from, and there shouldn't be any limitation with the body too. Wing Chun and Yung Chun is a very direct and to the point, close quarter self-defense system for martial arts. It's for self-defense, to protect yourself. So you have defending, blocking techniques to trap them up, covering, and then striking back, just like boxing does. But this talk and all these theories, which is like overthinking. Sometimes this stuff is not the thing. This is a boundary and a wall stopping you from learning, not only in the mind learning, but in actual ability of learning. Things need to be broken down, studied bit by bit, step by step, and studied and put into practice in training with people. How you train is going to affect how you and shape how you are as a fighter per se. But what you really are is a sane, hopefully, human being that doesn't want to fight, but has a lot of good abilities and skills to work with different things. Just like the subtle differences of the way a man or woman moves their body when they're surfing on the water, feeling the wave, or skiing down that mountain, and you have to make those slightly different turns and things. There's power in the leg, there's flexibility, the arms, overall bodily balance, feeling, knowing when to relax, when to tense certain muscles, and everybody's body is slightly different. It's about listening, okay? It's not about toughness or anything like that either. And so martial arts, each martial art is a collection of different techniques. Each of those techniques need that same respect and study. Through practice, study what you practice and practice what you study, and each martial art should be studied for what it is, an art. Hopefully you'll never even need to try and use that or use it as a should be a reaction, not a try. I'm saying hopefully you'll just be training it, and it'll be like fun to train, like a sport too. But it's no game. If you train these arts properly, they have their benefits. It just so happens that some of these techniques can really protect your life. They really will defend you. And there are different techniques in different arts. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you. Peace.